JoshCast, episode 450 something. Who cares? I'm going to talk about a couple of things, and then I think I'm going to do another episode where I'm going to do public freakout commentary and some odd news. We'll do the old format. And I want to talk about the Carl episode I did this past weekend. That was pretty cool. The biggest get in JoshCast history was Carl. Even though he's like, oh, I only have 10,000 subscribers. To me, it's about respect. I just respect the guy for what he does. And it was really cool. It was under short notice. I was happy there was no echo. I thought there was going to be an echo in his voice because, every time I go live with somebody, there's an echo. I was happy there was no echo. Audio came out good. I messed up the questions at the end. I didn't prepare any questions. I'm no Joe Rogan. I had 2 questions I wanted to ask him at the end, but I froze a little bit, but it's okay. And came out all right. And also another guest we're going to have on the show. It's been confirmed. We haven't confirmed the date yet. It's Smooth Sanchez, who's another New York IRL in real life live streamer. And he confirmed he's going to do the show. He's actually subscribed to the channel, which is pretty cool. I found that out about when I was doing the prank calls for you episode. And we're going to have him on. And that'll be pretty cool. Another get. And I figured out the secret to getting guests on the show. Don't ask other shitty open mic comedians. Now, aside from a few people who have done the show before under protest, Willie Fritz, Bill Miller, even Goat, who doesn't talk to me anymore because over something stupid. I didn't take his side on something. He's like a baby. I think he blocked my number, which is silly. I mean, it's not even funny. It's just silly. The guy's like, how was he, 15 years older than me, just acting like a baby. And he did his job to some extent. But aside from, if you want guests on your show, don't ask comedians. I mean, there's probably established comedians out there who would probably do your podcast if they were bored and had nothing to do. But then some Joe Blow guy, some loser like me, who has no fans and is a nobody, is like, I'm not going to do your show. I don't want to be associated with you. And even your friends, even the people who call you their comedy buddies. There's comedians who call me their friends and everything, and they tell me they love me, but they don't include me in their stuff. Yeah, even they won't do your show. So, we'll get to a little rant on friendship later. My mind's all over the place. But speaking of live streaming and speaking of Hedonist John, I want to call Hedonist John out on something if he's listening to this, and if he's not, well, who cares? He's missing out. Hedonist John, a few weeks ago, when I went live for a show, I think it was not the last Tales from the Shit, the one before that, he was like, hey, I wanted to call in. Could you text me the next time you go live? And what Hedonist John doesn't realize is, number one, I told him I live at home. I don't have a lot of time. Okay, that's number one. And number two, I have to set things up. I have to make sure my microphone level's good. I got to set things up. If I'm doing the green screen thing, I have to adjust that. I got to play around with some things, blah, blah, blah. And oh yeah, let me text Hedonist John and make sure he calls in, because that'll make the show better. Like, the only show I actually needed people to call into was the Atheist Hotline show, because it was a call-in show. But I don't really need people to call in. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to have some people call in from Tales from the Shit to tell poop stories and such, but he acts like, oh, he's going to save the show. So not to just call out Hedonist John, it's like, oh yeah, I got to text you. I actually had the idea a while ago that I should come up with a text list, and if you want me to text you when I go live, but I was like, but that's another thing to do. Sometimes I don't have time and I have to go live now. I have to go live right now. I don't have time to be texting people, hey, I'm going live. So some people don't realize that. I'm going to do a Jack Boo movie review, and then I'm going to do a Jack food review right now. First to the movie review, I saw this movie. I think it was one of those movies that went straight to DVD called The Art of Self-Defense. And it starring this kid named Jesse. Wait, let me look this up right now. Was he in Zombieland? I don't know, but they said it's a comedy movie, but there was only one scene of the movie. There was only one scene that kind of made me chuckle, but it's not a comedy movie to me. But I think it's in the comedy. But to me, what I liked about the movie is it did go dark. But I'm trying to get the kid's name. Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg. He's the guy, I believe, who was in Zombieland. So pretty much the premise of the movie is he gets jumped by these motorcycle idiots. He feels weak. He feels scared. He takes a karate class, and he feels like he's a part of something, but he's still kind of scared. He gets close to his sensei, who, spoiler alert, ends up breaking into his house and starts fucking with his life. He finds this out. Then he comes after the sensei. The sensei whoops his ass in front of everybody. Then he finds out dark shit about his sensei, that he killed his dog and other stuff, so he challenged him to a fight of the death. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear what happened, folks, well, fast forward the next 30 seconds. Oh, too late. He shoots his sensei right in the head. Kills him dead. Then he gives this girl a black belt he wants to fuck, because she never got the black belt because she's a girl, which would never happen in real life because she would have sucked the sensei's dick and been at the black belt. And then, there you go. And then she teaches the karate class. He's happy. And once again, the movie was different. It wasn't funny, but it was dark. You might like it. It's worth watching one time. And there's your Jack Boo movie review. And then I tried the shakaroni pizza from Papa John's. I went on the website, ordered it with my credit card. It took 25 minutes. And, yeah, it was all right. I mean, I'm not a fan of Papa John's. I think it tastes kind of like cafeteria pizza. But it was, I like the sauce. The sauce was kind of like tangy, kind of, I don't know. And so would I order from Papa John's ever again? Probably not. But I liked the pizza. It was all right. It was $12. But, you know, with delivery and everything, and a tip, it came to like, whatever, $20. But it's all right. So there you go. There's the Jack Fu review and the Jack Boo movie review. There you go, folks. Now let's get to a little rant. All right? This isn't one of those angry rants. But it's just more of, and this isn't about a particular person. But as I said before, and I used to have a show called Making Friends is Hard. We used to do years ago. And one of the things I said on that show that I stick by is most people will treat you like a commercial in their life. Most people, you know, they're only going to talk to you when they're bored. They're only going to hang out with you when they feel lonely. Like, that's why I used the term comedy friends. Now, the same comedians who get mad when I use the term comedy friends are the same comedians who don't want to hang out with me. Most of them live 20, 25 minutes away from me, and they don't want anything to do with me. Even if they go, I'll call into your show or something. No, I need people around me. I want to hang out with people. But they act like, you know, they want to hang out with you. They call you their friend, but that's why I use the term comedy friends. Yeah, you can call me your comedy friend any day of the week, but you're not my friend. I mean, I've hung out with Willie Fritz more outside of comedy than any of those guys. You know, we used to go to a diner. Well, not now because of COVID, but we would go to a diner, and him and I have similar problems. I'm not going to get into them because he doesn't want me putting his personal business out there. He'll get mad, like I said before, like someone's going to discover him in a Wawa one day. Hey, weren't you on JoshCast? Hey, you're Willie Fritz from JoshCast fame. Hey, it's Willie Fritz, everybody. He's embarrassed. Like, sorry, I wish that would happen. I wish that would happen. But other people will call you their friend, and we all know that, you know, it's just, and then when I say, no, we're comedy friends, they go, don't say that. That sounds derogatory. No, man, we're friends, bud. It's like we live 20 fucking minutes from each other. I mean, if you live 20, 30 minutes from somebody, and within 4 months, you don't care to see them, that's not a friend. Now, once again, if your definition of a friend is that, then you have low expectations of what a friend is. I don't have high expectations of what a friend is, but I would never call somebody my friend who lives close to me, who has no interest in seeing me, especially in the summer. You figure, why don't we get together at least one time and go, hey, let's get a drink or a bite to eat and just hang out. It doesn't be an all-day thing. I'm not trying to come over to your parents' house and meet your parents. You know, just hanging out, right? Or they have a project or something and they exclude you from it for a personal reason. Oh, yeah, that's a friend. So at the end of the day, you know, I call these guys my comedy buddies, my comedy amigos any day of the week. But I would never call them my friend. Because I need people around me. I like to hang out with people. And I'm never going to have friends in life because nobody wants to really consider me a friend. Everyone says, I'm your friend, but they don't mean it. What they mean is, you're a commercial in my life. When I'm bored and I have no one to talk to, yes, I will consider you, I will call you my friend. Or if you make it someday, you get some sort of value, I want to be a part of it. But I don't want to hang out with you, really. I mean, if it was up to me, I would not want to hang out with you. And that's fine. I get it. I don't have a great personality. I'm not super fun to hang out with. I get it. I'm not going to call you my friend. I'll call you my comedy friend. And if you're offended by that, well, be a better friend then. Now once again, that's not about one person. That's about several people who I've known for years. I mean, off and on for years. But anyways, so let's talk about the name JoshCast. Last episode, I went on a little rant as well about the name JoshCast. This is a stupid name for a podcast. I wish I named it something else, but I called it JoshCast, and it's a fucking typical dumb name anybody can do. And then a guy who subscribed to the channel, he goes by KK Kurt Russell. He said something like, I'm going to start a war. I'm going to go to all their pages because there's 10 other podcasts in JoshCast. I'm going to go to their pages and say that you stole their name. And I was like, I mean, those guys don't even do shows anymore. I mean, most people who start a podcast will quit. I will say that. At least 50 to 60% of people who start a podcast after a while will quit. And some people do actually do well. They get, reviews. They get some views, because they're not making millions of dollars and they're not Joe Rogan, they will quit. So that's the good news. Is not to say if you hang in there, you're going to make it, but it just means that most people are going to quit. And I don't know why I continue to do this show. As far as what's going on for the network, the channel, I want to do a prank calls for you episode, but I don't have any ideas. I'm tired of calling people from Craigslist because they don't answer their phone. I mean, they give their number out, but they like to text you or something, or I don't know, they don't feel comfortable answering it, even though they gave their number out. So that's the only idea I have for this show right now, since everything's closed. There's going to be an episode of Tales from the Shit this coming Monday. What is it, the 17th, I think? Yeah, it's going to be the 17th. We're going to be doing an episode, I think probably at 8:30. I'm going to try to go live. So there you go. I'm going to give you guys a heads up because I know a lot of you like to watch the show live, like the last episode where I had no viewers. And finally, I want to end by saying that, yes, I miss stand-up comedy very deeply. I don't know if I'm going to do another COVID special because the first time I did it, I had 6 people watching. And then the last episode I did, I had 3 people watching live. And, even though I got some decent feedback on it, I kind of just... It's not the same. I know it's not going to replace stand-up, but it's just something to do to be creative. And I'm kind of like, there's a part of me that wishes stand-up doesn't come back because I was never going to make it. And as evil as this sounds, if I'm not going to make it, I don't want other people to make it. And like Helium Comedy Club in my city, for example, I did my first time there. I actually had a year and a half after me starting comedy, I had a night where, I wouldn't say I killed, but I did one joke and it blew the roof off. And I don't believe me. And I had this high in my head, like, oh, I love this place. I love Helium. And I had a good contest night there. Only 1 out of 5. Only 1 good contest out of 5, which isn't good. But I had some great nights in that club. And I was like, there's a part of me that wants it to die. There's a part of me that wants it to go away. Because if I'm not going to make it, why should you make it? Why should anybody make it? Why should stand-up comedy, maybe it should die. Maybe it should go away. Because it's a sin that I never made it, folks. It's a sin I never went anywhere because of these unfair views, because I go too far and I'm too dirty and I say certain naughty words on stage, and because it's too cruel and we get with the times, and I don't dress like a gay hipster, and I don't kiss everybody's ass and stay out to 3 o'clock in the morning and fucking ruin my life and shit, even though my life's already ruined. Fuck that shit. So as much as I want stand-up to come back, and it probably won't come back though sometime in 2021, I miss stand-up, folks. I really do. And I want to give a shout out to Smooth Sanchez, who's also an IRL live streamer like Carl. He did the podcast Friday night, and pretty much what happened was I got a copyright strike for something I did 2 years ago. At first I thought it was for the podcast we did. I was like, wait a minute, we didn't say anything too crazy. And I did a prank call episode 21, that was 2 years ago. Someone must have reported it, or I don't know if YouTube just found out about it. I doubt YouTube just randomly. It's like 2 fucking years ago, and YouTube flagged it down. So the JoshJak channel now has a strike. And the worst part about it is they rejected the podcast I did with Smooth Sanchez because it was in the middle of processing. And if you get a strike, you can only upload videos that aren't longer than 15 minutes. So they said this video is too long. So they rejected it. And I wrote YouTube and said, well, can I at least get the video? Because I did create it in my content. It doesn't belong to you. You just rejected it. Can I at least downloaded it? And they didn't write back. So, YouTube's cracking down. It fucking sucks. But listen, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Most of my videos only get 10 or 20 views anyways. Probably the same 3 or 4 people click on it a couple times. So I would just be posting on the Josh Jack Network channel. But I want to thank Smooth Sanchez for doing the show. If he's listening, if you want to do it again, we can. This time I won't go live. And this time there was a little echo in his voice. So if we do it again, I know what to do better next time. At least the audio will be better. And that's that. And also, if you listen to this, August the 17th, which is the next day of posting this, I will be doing a live Tales from the Shit, 8:30 Eastern Time, or 8:30-ish, for those of you who want to tune in. And yeah, that's so listen, it sucks, but at the end of the day, look, this is going to happen over and over until we find a better platform than YouTube. Then this is what you got to deal with. Well, I don't know when I'm going to put this episode up. I don't know if I'm going to put it up tonight, later this week. I might just save it. Doesn't matter. Didn't really say much. But if you listen to all this, wow, I don't know what to tell you. I appreciate you listening, but I wish this podcast was more funny, but I'm trying to work on that. So if you listen to all this or any of this, I thank you from the bottom of my rotten heart. I fucked that up. And I'll see ya.